Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Data Analyst Pathway. I'm Sam, and today we are covering what I believe is the most important topic for a professional analyst. It goes beyond the code and the charts and speaks to the heart of our responsibility. We are diving into Knowledge 60, K60, how data and analysis may exhibit biases and prejudice. How ethics and compliance affect data analytics work. This is about professional integrity. Imagine a judge. They must know the law, that's the technical skill. But they must also be impartial, ethical, and fair to deliver justice. As an analyst, your data drives decisions that affect real people. Our goal is to understand the hidden dangers of bias, the strict rules of ethical conduct, and the heavy weight of laws like GDPR, because biased data leads to unfair decisions, and unethical data leads to disaster. Let's decode the standard. K60 covers three distinct but related areas. First, bias and prejudice. Data is not neutral. It reflects the world it came from. If the world is biased, the data is biased. We need to spot this. Second, ethics. This is about morality. You might have the technical ability to scrape everyone's Facebook photos, but should you? Ethics asks if it is right. Third, compliance. This is the law. GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018 aren't suggestions, they are strict rules with massive fines. The huge risk today is algorithmic bias. If we feed biased data into an automated system, we don't just make one unfair decision, we automate discrimination at scale. Let's zoom in on bias. It comes in many forms. Selection bias happens when your sample doesn't look like the real world. If you do a survey on Twitter, you aren't hearing from people who don't use the internet. Historical bias is dangerous. If you train a hiring AI on resumes from the 1980s, it might learn that successful candidates are usually men, simply because that was the reality back then. It creates a sexist algorithm. Confirmation bias is on you, the analyst. Are you only querying the data that proves your boss is right? The solution is constant vigilance. You must audit your data to check who is missing. Next, ethics. This is your moral compass. Ask yourself, is this fair? Is this respectful? Fairness. Does your pricing algorithm charge everyone equally, or does it punish people in certain postcodes? Transparency. If a user is rejected for a loan by your model, can you explain why? We call this explainable AI. You cannot hide behind, the computer said no. Privacy. Just because you have the data doesn't mean you own the person. Remember the famous case where Target predicted a teen was pregnant before her father knew? Technically, that was brilliant analysis. Ethically, it was a disaster. Don't be creepy. Finally, compliance. In the UK and Europe, we are governed by GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018. You must know the rights of the data subject, the user. They have the right to be informed. You can't collect data secretly. They have the right to access. They can demand a copy of everything you hold on them. They have the right to erasure, also known as the right to be forgotten. If they ask you to delete it, you must delete it. As an analyst, before you run a query, ask, do we have consent to use this? If not, stop. The fines are massive, up to 4% of global revenue. How does K60 apply to you, Ben the data analyst? Imagine you are building a model to predict credit risk. You perform a bias check. You see the dataset includes postcode. You realize the ethical risk. Postcode is often a proxy for race or social class. Using it could lead to redlining, where people in poor areas are unfairly denied credit. Your action is to remove the postcode column. You force the model to judge people on their financial history, not their neighbors. You then document this decision in ADPIA, Data Protection Impact Assessment, to prove compliance. Here is how you can apply K60 tomorrow. Action 1. Bias audit. Look at your main dataset. Is there a group missing? Maybe you have no data on people under 25. Note that down as a limitation. Action 2. Compliance. Read your company's privacy policy. Seriously, does the work you are doing right now match what you promised the customer? If not, flag it. Action 3. The newspaper test. Ask yourself, if my analysis appeared on the front page of the news tomorrow, would I be proud or ashamed? If you'd be ashamed, don't do it. Your goal is to be the conscience of the data team. For your portfolio, use STAR. This is the Guardian story. Situation. I was asked to share a customer dataset with a third-party marketing partner. Task. I needed to ensure this transfer was fully compliant with GDPR and ethically sound. Action. I checked the consent flags in the database. I removed 2,000 users who had opted out of third-party sharing. I then hashed the email addresses to ensure pseudonymization before sending the file. Result. The data was shared legally, protecting our users' trust and avoiding a potential fine. Reflection. I learned that compliance isn't a blocker, it's a quality standard that protects the business. In your major project, K60 is mandatory. You need an ethics and legal section. Include a bias statement. I acknowledge that this dataset excludes users from mobile devices, introducing selection bias. State your GDPR compliance. All personal data was stored on encrypted drives and deleted immediately after the project. Explain your ethical framework. I applied the principle of data minimization. I only extracted the 3 columns I needed, not the whole table. My advice: assessors must see you address GDPR. It is often a pass-fail criteria. Don't skip it. Let's wrap up. We've learned that K60 is about the analyst's conscience. We explored bias, ethics, and compliance. We learned to use tools like bias audits and DPIA to keep our work safe. Your next step is to read one article on AI bias. It is the biggest ethical challenge of our generation. This concludes the knowledge series for the data analyst pathway. You now have the theory. In our next sessions, we will move to skills, S48 to S55, where we will focus purely on the practical application, extracting, cleaning, and visualizing data. Remember, with great data comes great responsibility. Be the guardian of that trust. See you in the skills sessions. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you now feel more confident in mastering this topic. If you found value in this session, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and follow our channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the algorithm show these lessons to other apprentices, just like you, who need support. Don't forget, you can download today's slides and the full transcript at www.mentorinai.com EPA Hub. While you are there, check out our mock interview and portfolio review services to make sure you are fully ready for your EPA. See you in the next video. Keep learning.